welcome to Z Explains BG. I am Z. We are playing a 7-point match on Backgammon Hub. A good match to my opponent. So who says thanks for the game. Hopefully learn something. Guess I'll tell him about the stream afterwards. Try to maybe comment on his plays a little bit too if he's interested in learning. Okay. Seems to be playing pretty reasonably so far. That is the book play he made after I run with the 6-5 on the opening roll. We make the 2-point. Well, and I only know that because I have sort of memorized it. Okay, this looks natural enough. Sumi's, well, I can make the 7. Maybe the 5 is a little better. Which would give up the 8-point, but the 8 and the 2 don't really go well together because they're 6 points apart from one another. So maybe with that 6-3 is a little better to make the 5. Usually the 5 takes precedence over the bar, but it depends on whether you're sort of interested in attacking or interested in blocking. And he seems like he had more of an attacking position to me. So that's why I think the 5 was probably a bit better than the 7 there. I'm a little exposed here, but I do want to kind of barrel out. So we'll try this and hope it's not. Hope we don't get blown away. Like point dance. He's got a cube. Ooh, not a dance. All right, so I'm only up 10, and I got problems in the outfield, so no double. You can stay a little bit out of harm's way. I don't think there's anything else, is there? No, nothing else. Okay, this is safe, and I may be close to a cube here. It wins. Okay, so it's 3-2. He wins a little more by staying back, although he's getting gammoned a little more, I think. He also kind of wants to maybe spring that guy sometime soon, so maybe 8-5, 23-20 is a little better than this. Although I think this is best for the win. I'm not totally sure about that. Okay, so it's only 8 pips. All right, this will do it. This will do it. I think all plays are equal here. They're all just double pass. So I'm too good here, which I'm not. I mean, technically, maybe he could play on, but actually, no. If I roll small and he rolls a 6-6, he would have a take. So usually I split with the 3, bring down the 2 here. This is probably okay. So make his 5. Well, I don't know. I'm not totally sure about this, but I would probably make the 5. Oh no, he can hit. No, I can only hit once. He needs 2 to enter. So this seems suspicious. Very suspicious. Like if you hit, I think you make the 7. I'd have to take a good look at that one though. Oh, everything's sort of up for grabs. Okay, so I'm hitting with the stronger board. Dance here, I can cube maybe? Maybe not. Probably not. Guess I could play 8-3 with the last one. Yeah, distribution's nice in the outfield, but I hate putting the checker below these open points here. Or I just get lucky. Good. 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 Should keep his anchor. He's way down, so this is a good play. Don't know what I should do. Maybe make the 5 or the 4 points. Distribution's all messed up here. Usually the computer actually prefers the worst distribution and making the better point. So making the 5 here as opposed to the 4. Somehow, I don't know, somehow I still like this though. I might be wrong though. Okay, so it's very volatile now. Wondering about cubing them. I'm up a lot in the race and have the better position and have some decent threats. Okay, I'm gonna send this. Trying to do too much, maybe. All right, let's dare him to see if we can clean everything up. Cannot. Cleans up most of it. 6 out and 18 to 13. Don't think there's anything else. Obviously, you like to make the 18, but there's no good 6. Oh, do I make the 2? Keep pressure on this guy. Gonna hit him the most next turn. Seems a little funny to do this because I'm so far up in the race. But tactically it seems to make sense, right? I mean, certainly I'm hitting him most if I do this. Now there's a problem. The guy's a little stuck back there. Not that he can cube me or anything. He should be probably pretty aggressive with the recube at the score, but still, I don't think this is anything. Oh, if I roll bad here though. Yeah, this should go double something. Yeah, it's a good recube at the score. I mean, I'm going to enter next roll most of the time and have a game with this awesome board in my race lead. Somehow I still want to pass though. Maybe due to the score, I got to be pretty conservative. It's a little hard for him to gammon me though. So what happens? He plays in the outfield, sometimes making the 8 point. I usually enter and then it's takeable. But the score, you know? Yeah, I don't know about this one. This could be wrong by a decent margin, I think. Feel much better about taking a money redouble here. Yeah, we'll see. Afterwards, we'll see what the computer says about that. Enter. I know I'm kind of dead. I don't know. I still got chances. Still up in the race. Still got my board. He still hasn't made a 6 prime. Still hasn't made a 6 prime, and he can't hit me. It's a little tough for him to hit me loose here. Not saying it's necessarily wrong, but it'd be pretty scary for him with this against this awesome structure. Alright, so I might get out. So let's take one on the recube. It's the same as his winning chances from 2 away, 7 away, which I think is 16%. Is that right? 5. Upside down. Hope that was right. Think it was. Ace. He might have overlooked making the ace there. Or I'm looking at that wrong. No, I can make the ace there. Yeah, I should have made the ace there. I think that's sort of a common oversight, I think. When you when you roll like an unlikely number that does something really good, like before the roll, you were thinking, okay, I'm just going to be sort of distributing my builders, right? Most of the time, because like it takes a joker to like not do that. And then you roll like one of the unlikely numbers that do something really awesome, and then you still like distribute your builders because that's what you were thinking you were going to do. So I used to make that mistake more often than I do now. I got in the habit of just sort of looking for the point making numbers in these situations. I'm still going to be losing this, aren't I? Yup. All right, saving the gammon though. Yeah, I'm curious. I'm almost curious about that take. I think it could be bad. Okay, I can resign with the clean conscience. Down 4-1. Woof. Woof. I guess he's sort of saddled with his awkward three-way score. So that's something. It's a little hard for him to get into a good cube in a gammonish position. I'm not sure about this, but I like my 9 points. I don't love playing 13-7 here, although that could be better. A little less exposed against the sort of attacking structure. Some 6 duplication maybe, like 6-4. I don't know, this seems like the normal thing though. Good. Good. Be pretty aggressive at the score. And it's gammonish at least. This isn't after he made the nice play. 4-3 and then go 6-2. And does that actually help much? I love playing 6-2. Guess I could play 13-9 also, but I hate to be hit. Yeah, okay, let's just do this. Guess I could have considered running, although it doesn't seem right down in the race. Okay, now I don't know. Probably 2 down from the mid. Yeah. Not a lot of hidden cover numbers, at least. I mean, if he leaves me a direct shot in the outfield, I'll probably cube him. Here, it doesn't look like I have all that much. No, well, I don't know how to play it, but, It seems like I can cube him next turn, you know? So maybe I should just do this. Maybe that's not that clear. This is better when he misses. Okay, this is double pass or too good, and it's not too good. It could be too good. Positionally, just kind of busted, you know. It's a little tough to bring home a gammon here. Maybe he takes. But it just looks horrible to me. Like often I'm going to make a 5 prime and then he enters and just his position collapses on the home front. And there's the gammons to worry about. I see I can make the 4 also. Seems like the other one gives them more problems though. Yeah, that's sort of what I was picturing. 6-2, or could that get me into trouble? Maybe that can get me into trouble. This is good builders here. I know what. My take point on the recube is going to be what, 9%, 9.5 or something. Not that it should cube me any time soon. Oh, this sweet. I assume it's this. I'm not too worried about this because he's super stuck back there. Although this deuce is really bad. I'd rather dance. Have to do this. Wondering a little bit about 6 to 4. Makes his ones like really good though. I'm just collapsing here though. I don't know. This could be better. Yeah, I kind of think if he hits me, I think he has to leave a shot. If I'm looking at this right, but it's probably still right to do it. Probably you want to make the ace and go 6 to 3, maintain some semblance of a position. That's like 4 to 1, not 4 to 1 doesn't seem right. So I think he made the right play there. Just keep like a decent front thing. Well, I might be trapping him off this point like this. All his fours except for 4-4 are pretty bad. And close out 2 checkers. Could even clear the 8-point here. Make the 2. Best for the gammon. Lose some though. Okay, that's the 2. Yeah, I don't always win if I just play normally. Okay, let's actually try this against the 3-point board. Interesting. Oh, I don't think I can hit him here. Got a good game. Got a decent game. If I don't hit him, I guess. It's maybe worth a look though. Okay, all is forgiven. Sort of ideal. Tiny gammon chances. Tiny lost chances too, though. Better gammon chances. Dance. 6-6. It's pretty hard to lose this. I'm thinking about doing this. We should win the most gammons. Yeah, it's a little hard to win a gammon if I don't do this. And like I said, how do I lose this? It's not impossible, but got to get hit and then somehow lose from here. So actually, that I think my play is correct, and it might not actually be that close. So it's sort of an important play to look out for. Especially a score like this where gammons are going to be pretty valuable for me, I assume. Just being down so much in the match. Although this is a pretty comfortable score to be at. Obviously, you'd rather be 3 away than 4 away, but 4 away is not that 4 away is a comfortable score. So you get very early cubes and stuff like this. For instance, is a cube, even though you wouldn't double this for money. Pretty strong cube actually. Not saying I would pass this, but so it'd be a blunder not to cube this. I don't know. It wouldn't be ridiculous to pass at this 4-away, 3-away score maybe. Duplicated, but this looks like a good play. Some 2 duplication here. That's a nice roll. I guess this looks like the normal thing. It might have been something else there with the 5-4. Okay, now what? It's a plan. I'm up in the race. I was up in the race. I'm going to take point on the recubes, 18.5. Should probably make it 4 here. I'm up in the bar. Yes, I don't know though. This is pretty shoddy. Yeah, he would have gotten smacked. All right, so I'm down in the race a little. No, that does not hit. Okie dokie. Does not hit, but it's a good racing number. So what is it, 18.5 is my take point. Definitely have it. Oh, I don't know about now if I roll small. Okay. Okay, so what is this? Yeah, I wouldn't be crazy to cube this. It's like a money take or close, so winning 22% or something. So it's a take. Double might be somewhat close at the score. Probably not quite a cube though, because it's pretty. Its doubling window should be small. Well, what do I know? And it's pretty far from a pass. Maybe the doubling window isn't as small actually, because I got no recube vig. So actually maybe the double's okay. Anyways. Let's see, tell them about the YouTube channel, and hopefully I didn't play too badly. I'm just not sure about that take in the I don't know, game 2 or whatever it was. Okay, I played okay. I played a 3. He played okay for his usual PR, I think, from what I've seen. Okay, we'll go through this though on XG. Let's put me on the bottom. And then, okay, yeah, I did play okay. Okay, I made a couple blunders, and apparently one somewhat bad take. Okay, the take in game 2 is probably a little optimistic, but it's a take for money, I guess. Yeah, that's the book play. Making the 2 for money, anyways. You make the 2 after your opponent runs with the 6-5. I think I used to split, which probably isn't too bad. But at one point, like, it comes up so often that I looked it up once. And I now I kind of remember it. And it's like so close, you know. I mean, it seems silly to memorize a bunch of stuff in backgammon, but like you can't figure this out, right? Because it's just too close. There's arguments both ways between making the 2 and splitting. Running, I don't think makes any sense. Like, you can figure out running is wrong if you know it's close on the opening roll between those 3 options. There's less incentive for him to run with a 6-4 here than on the opening roll, because he's down in the race, and I have a big stack on my mid, and he wants to provoke contact, right? Or he wants to blitz. So you can figure out the running is wrong. But I don't think you can really figure out whether making the 2 which is good for attacking, Um, or splitting and bringing the guy down, which is also okay for attacking. It provokes a little more immediate contact. While black has escaped a guy. Like, I don't think you can really figure out which of those two are better. So you just gotta like look at the rollout. If you want to play like the computer there, you know. So actually, yeah, we can take a look at this stuff here. So 3-2. His plays okay. Yeah, I don't know why you. Yeah, usually you probably want to make the major split with a 3-2. So he does the minor split, right? Which is not right on the opening roll. So it seems a little weird for it to be right here. Like if you know on the opening roll of the game, the major split, splitting with the 3, bringing down the 2 is a little better than the other one. It doesn't seem like there's a good argument for the other one here. Also, bringing 2 down would be okay, apparently. And then 2-2, yeah, it's okay. So the computer wants to make the 20. Bring a checker down. The opponent made the 4 point, made the 22, which is pretty reasonable. It is stripping the 6 point though. And then yeah, we talked about the 6-3 a little bit. Yeah, okay, it is better to make the 5. I think what the opponent was thinking was he doesn't want to give up his 8 point, you know, which is an argument. But like I said, the 8 and the 2 don't really go well together. But still, the 5 tends to be better than the 7, especially when you might be attacking. Here we can look at one variant. Let me just save this. I think I can save this. Okay, desktop, save. Like what I'm thinking is, like, if you have the 3 and not the 2, now if you make the 7, you almost have a 6 prime. Right, you're just 1 point away from the 6 prime. If you have the 2, you make the 7. You got like 2 gaps in your 6 prime. Takes 2 points. You got to fill in 2 more points to make a 6 prime. So they don't really go. The 8 and the 2 don't really go well together. And the way you see that is they're 6 apart from one another. So there's not a huge incentive to like keep the 8 point here. If you had your 3 point, now it still might be right to make the 5 here, but if it is right to make the 5, which honestly is not that clear to me anymore, then it's going to be closer. Yeah, it's a bit close. It's quite a bit closer, but it's still right to make the 5. See how much more powerful like the prime is here than when you have the 2 point instead. It's not a huge difference, but it is somewhat closer. Anyways. Okay, so I make the 7. I try to get out of there even though it's a little dangerous. So another place to make the 5, which I think I did see. Doesn't know anything about the Backgammon and that leaves a 4 shot here though, so I didn't like it. I try to get out. It doesn't work. I'm a little worried about dancing and being cubed there. Oh, it's 4-2. So 7-5, 7-3. I see. Obviously, the computer wants to go right after the awesome position at some risk, you know. Computer likes this. Get missed. Maybe getting a good cube on the dances this way. Maybe it's not. Maybe the cube on the dance isn't that good here. Anyways, but I do not dance. He does this. I do this. Yeah, okay, I see. Yeah, the computer does want to step up here. Okay, it is even better. It is even better for the win to step up, but it's the big deal is you lose more gammons. It's not such a big deal. It's such a big difference. Oh, I see what's going on. Well, maybe. I was going to say it's such a big difference in equity, not because the cubeless equity is that different. The cubeless equity is a lot closer. So the computer's seeing some like decent cubes after the opponent's play versus the computer play. But I don't think I have a good cube. I don't have a good cube. I don't have a good cube if he does his play. So I guess it's maybe like 2 rolls down the line or something. I got like just this marginal cube. I don't know. Computer might be a little confused there. But anyways, I roll 6-6. Yeah, 1-1 looked odd to me. Oh, it doesn't even like making the 5. It likes it just likes hitting on the 22 here. I probably would have made the 5. 5 seems pretty important here. But if you're gonna hit, I guess this seems a little silly. Because you want to hit on your opponent's side of the board. Okay, gain more. This might have been an oversight. Oh no, I see. He hit me and then played a 3 somewhere. Right, went in instead. He could put all this awesome structure, forgo the hit, but put all this awesome structure together and play safe. I see. Yeah, his play's a little blotty. Usually, usually if it's a choice between hitting on your opponent's side of the board or making a good point on your side of the board, usually not always is better to hit. But I don't think that's really the choice here. Let's go back to the original position. Because you get to make you kind of get to make 2 big upgrades on your side of the board when you forgo hitting. You get to make your 7 and like either your 5 or your 3. So it's kind of a choice between hitting on black side of the board or making 2 good points on white side of the board. So usually in that case you make the 2 good points, but also the hit play is just too shoddy. You know, I got shots and blots everywhere. So that's why this is quite a bit wrong. Yeah, okay, hitting's okay here. Computer slightly prefers making the 10. Hits. Okay, bar 20 is as good as anything, or bar this is fine too. Okay, I didn't like putting that. I kind of knew this. Okay, so obviously you're playing 18 to 8 with 2 of them, 13 to 8 with the next one, and then you got a choice on the last one. So you can play the last one 8 to 3 like I did, which the computer does not like, and do this. Because this checker is kind of dead. You want this checker alive for attacking or making these points. I like the 3 and 3 distribution in the outfield though. But no, the computer just says stack and keep everything alive, fine. It is going to be unstacking to try to make these points in the near future, maybe by even slotting, but you know, if it can hit there, he'd be happy to do it. Okay, I roll a decent 6-6. Oh, I didn't think about slotting here. Yeah, I mean, you really need those. You really need that point filled. You really need more points filled in. So the computer wants to actually take on some risk. Yeah, no, I just don't think I saw this. I don't know if I would have done it had I seen it though, because it's a little weird. It looks like a little weird to slot with the last spare on the 8 points. Oh, maybe there's something going on with 6s here also. Like if you do my play 13 to 6, we could put it up on the board. I don't know, 6s sort of give up the 7 point, or they run from the anchor. Maybe like a 6-1 plays well now, you know. But I don't know how major that is. This is the main thing here. I think it's nice to. It's hard to play, so it's nice. It's nice to if you get more opportunities to fill in these 4 and 5 points, and the computer's saying it's worth the risk. Yeah, not an easy play though, especially if you're playing by rote. Okay, but I do play this one correctly. You can play safely by 6 to 1 or something. That doesn't really do anything, and his board's under. Like, how do you play after that? How do you play productively after that, right? And his board's pretty weak with the blots, so now maybe seems like the time to take a chance to sort of improve your position. So I make the 4, which is nice distribution. You could also make the 5, make the better point, but the distribution looked really messed up to me here. No spare on the 8, big stack on the 6, so this is much cleaner. Oh, it hates hitting here. Okay, so probably I do have a cube. Yeah, it's pretty dangerous. Yeah, so his play gives me pretty strong, a decent cube, I would say. Um, so what does the computer want to do with the 3-2? Oh, just build a decent position, or you could make the 3, I guess. And then the game is fine, and I can't really cube him, I guess. Wait, I got an okay 3-3. He's got nothing else here. Apparently a blunder with the 4-3. Yeah, no, I saw this play. I didn't overlook it. I really want to hit him next turn, though, don't I? I mean, so this is why I make the 2-point. I stayed back. I think I'm not too stuck back there. I guess I am a little stuck back there, a little open to being attacked too. So the computer says, look, you're up in the race. You really want to get that backman going because you're out of time everywhere. You don't want to be attacked back there. So get the backman moving now since you're up 30 pips or whatever in the race. I mean, it's a pretty reasonable idea, but I don't know. I just want to hit him. I guess that gets me into trouble, though. It does get me into trouble. Like, the backman gets stuck. And he rolls like a great 5-3, and then I make a slightly bad take, probably. Somewhat bad take. Pretty bad take. But it's only a pass, I think. It might only be a pass due to this match score. Like, it's only 1-0. But I think even a small difference like that tends to matter quite a bit on a recube I was gonna say in a gammonish position. This isn't that gammonish. No, maybe it's still a pass for money. I don't know, but it's gonna be closer. No, it's actually not closer. Okay, I guess because it's non-gammonish, it's about equal to money at this score. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, if it was, I think the score would matter a lot more if it was a gammonish position. So that was a good reminder. So anyways, I make a pretty bad take. And then I think I just lose. Oh no, I do have some chances later on. He plays, I don't think he should attack me or anything. Maybe there's slightly better coverage plays than what he's doing. These are tricky though. Yeah, he's a little tricky. And then, okay, yeah, there's a little oversight here, but he's still doing fine even after he messes up. It's a good play getting 4 builders. And then eventually I do hit him, but I don't have too much chance here. And then I just lose. And I'm down 1-4. Okay, here it does want to hit in the outfield, as opposed to making 2 good points. But hitting isn't that, unlike the previous position, hitting isn't very dangerous. And he has the stronger board. Well, wants to make the 2 here. I don't really like that. I mean, my play's not great because it's exposed to being attacked against like a 3-point board. But the structure on my side of the board is good. And he's all stripped out here, so maybe I can survive in his assault. So I do kind of like this. And on appeal, the computer likes it too. At first, the computer liked making the 2, which, I don't know, the structure's bad and, I don't know, doesn't do anything with the back checkers. I thought like this would be okay too, maybe this, but I don't know. The normal thing seems to be 24-18. Though you wouldn't do it if it was like a little more blitzy over here. You'd find something else. Great 5-3, 5-2. Yeah, it seems important to get the backmen going, I guess. You know, when your opponent has an anchor, a forward anchor, and you don't, it is more important than usual to get your own backmen going. Because like you can be blocked and your opponent cannot. So you need to counteract that by trying to split. Assuming it's not too dangerous to split, which it isn't here, because I only got a 1 point board. So that's why I should play 24 to 22 with the 2. Even though it's, I don't know, it's a little bit exposed. Because I roll an awesome this. He rolls a nice 1-1. Don't have a cube yet. Oh, it does like 13 to 10, 6 to 2. Yeah, I looked at this. I don't like 6 to 2 though. It's pretty close, I guess. This sort of better builders in the outfield. If you hate playing 6 to 2, or you overstack the 6 point, they're both kind of eh. 6-4. Okay, nothing other than clearing the So okay, what's with this 4-2 though? I don't think. Oh, you play 8 to 2. I see. Yeah, so like, okay, obviously he doesn't love leaving the 3 shot, but if you do the computer's play, it's a little dangerous for me to hit with certain 3s. Like, I don't know, am I really even hitting with a 2-1? It's pretty dangerous, you know. So computer builds a nice board there, and maintains a little bit more flexibility for the future. Okay, I can almost double this at the score, it looks like. Maybe it rolls out to be a cube. Oh, 5-3. Okay, this is close. That's funny. I was agonizing over this a little bit because, on one hand, I have cube access, right? So I can reduce volatility just by making the 4, and then maybe double him next turn, which probably is the case. But I wasn't too sure that it was like a super strong cube next turn if you do this. Like maybe it just does safeties the guy in the outfield and he has like an easy take. That's sort of what I was thinking anyways. So it's like, well, if that's the case, maybe I should just go for it and get a much stronger Cuban on his bad numbers. Computer doesn't quite agree though. Cubeless, it probably does like my play. No, it doesn't. Cubeless, it likes making the 4 still. Yeah, I don't know. It's all very close though. And then yeah, this is a pretty big pass. It doesn't, at first glance, it maybe doesn't look too bad. Because he got a 3-point anchor and his, like, the race is like okay, and I still have to escape a guy. But I think the times I make the 7 point, I think his game just collapses too much and he loses gammons. And I got like a kind of a double shot to make the 7. Now I did actually roll kind of a duplicated number. I can make the 4 or the 7. But I thought, okay, I want to do this and then have him come in and like crunch horribly, which he does. And then yeah, I don't know. I played 17 to 7. Apparently the computer slightly prefers 17 to 11, 9 to 5 for some reason. Or you can play 17 to 11, 6 to 2. If you get hit with a 2, maybe you get into trouble, but it's a little hard to see. So probably was more gammons to hit there. Get another checker sent back. Maybe you hit more white checkers along the way. No, I don't like anything here. 9-5. Okay, everything leaves a shot though, I guess. Is there any safe play here? Like I did not think I saw one at the time. You don't make the 4 though, because that lets everyone out. So you want to maintain a nice block. So I thought, okay, I can do 9 to 2. Just leave him like a 2 shot where it's like hard for, even if when he hits, he's still super stuck. Second best is, slot the 4 and hits, which has more of a chance to get you into trouble if he enters with a 4. But it's best when he doesn't roll a 4, I guess. Or another slot play there. That was a pretty good 2-2. I enter right away, which probably isn't that great for me. Especially with the 5. And then he rolls a nice 2. Okay, I roll a great 6-1. He hits me. Oh, what's the play? That's another blunder. Yeah, I mean, I saw the risk. So, when missed, I want to be able to like roll my. I want to be able to play flexibly and roll my prime home forward. Like when he rolls badly. So that's why I play 6-4. Right, I do this. Obviously, when he rolls a 1, though, I really regret this. Gets to hit and come to the edge of the prime. So that's why the computer likes playing a little bit more stodgy. Also, I'm getting attacked on white side of the board. And I guess for that reason, I don't want this blot here. Like, let's say he just rolls 6-3. Yeah, I really, really do not want this blot here in that case. It was kind of a weird 3-3, but he plays it well. And then eventually I enter, good, and make a 6 prime, and then okay, I go to trap him off the anchor here. Best for the win is probably to keep the 6 prime. Play 19-11 or something. Do this. The problem is you're not winning many gammons here, right? And it's not trivial to win this. He's still winning close to 20% apparently. So if you do something like my play, we can put it up on the board, where you give up the 7 point, so he has to leave the anchor with a 4, with all his 4s. You're going to lose a little more, I think, mainly because he can roll 4-4. But it gets gammon more, right? Because he splits and then you get to close out 2 checkers a lot of the time. So either this or this apparently is called for. And the builders are a little bad here, but I like the 4-point board. 6-3. Okay, got a little bit feisty here, I guess. Again, I knew my play is not best for the win. I thought it wins the most gammons though. It gets trapped off the anchor the most, and I already have a 5-point board. So even though I'm getting hit on the 8-point, it is going to win the most gammons. It's just not quite worth the extra losses apparently. It doesn't want to hit, although it's very close. I did see it. Oh, it was maybe not super close. Right, so obviously you're entering with a 4, and then the normal thing is to place 5-4, which is what I did. And then you hope to hit later, which is sort of a reasonable plan. But it gives him a chance to like run or escape or hit or get this guy home, you know. So that's why the computer says, look, you could try this. Wins, probably doesn't win as much, but wins the most gammons when it works. If you get hit, maybe you can hit again somewhere. Probably would have found this against a 2-point board, but it seemed a little bit, it seemed like a little bit too much like this was like an okay game plan to me. But I do get a lucky 6-6, close him out. A little bit of gammon. Yeah, like this play. Like it's okay, it's pretty close here probably. But actually second best is to leave a shot in the other way. Play 4-2 and then bear a guy off. But yeah, if you just play normally, like it's pretty hard to win a gammon here. He had Neil up with like an odd number of checkers, and he's just going to enter 3/4 of the time and run off the gammon almost always when he enters. So it's pretty tough. It's pretty tough to win a gammon. Rip 2 guys. So go back to the original position. Take 2 guys off. Seems a lot more reasonable. You're going to win a gammon. Like you could dance, and then you're a lot closer. Or could roll like a 5-1 or something. You just got a chance to like power off a gammon now. So pretty solid difference in the number of gammons, and it's pretty hard to lose after doing this, right? First he has to roll a 2, and then has to win from there somehow. When you have like you already have 8 men off. Really is a 3-point board, so. That's sort of how I thought here and found the right play. Something to watch out for. It's kind of close here. It's 0.02 something. 0.03. It can be like a lot more than that, especially at like certain match scores where gammons are like especially valuable. For instance, if Gammon go, you're 2 away, your opponent's 1 away, and it's the Crawford game. It's like a big error not. It's a big error not to leave a shot. Like the second best play still leaves a shot. The safe play is wrong by .08, which is going to be the choice of most players. So you really kind of need to think in this game. Which I hate doing, but what are you going to do? Anyways, yeah, I don't know. He hits, but I just kind of win the race. Underscoring how hard it is to get to lose that. I get a nice 6-4, and yeah, this situation pretty big take. So at the score, still pretty solid double. 4 away, 3 away. Fairly gammonish position. You need to be quite aggressive. Okay, 3-1. Oh, hey Barry, how you doing? Getting warmed up for the evening. Yeah, I missed the last tournament because I was sort of busy that day. But I'm hoping to play the rest of the season. Hopefully, make the playoffs. We'll see how it goes. My results haven't been that great in the weeklies. I made it to the finals a lot, but I think I'm 1-5 in the finals or something. I've gotten really bad luck in the finals. But we're playing against good players, so you got to expect a losing streak at some point. Anyways, so 5-4 here. Okay, you can either play 13. You're always making the 9 point. It looks like. Well, actually, 13-8, 9-5 isn't too bad either. I guess the point is like 21-16. I guess that's not a good 5. So my play is like, well, it's okay. There's just because there's nothing clearly great. I guess you don't really want to be on the 16 point here. So the computer says, oh, maybe bring 2 guys down. If you get hit with a 1, it's pretty dangerous for white. Or this. 9 point's not the best point here. Being 6 away from the 3 point. The computer wants to play 6-5 for some reason. It does cut down on the outfield shots a little bit to play 6-5. I wouldn't think it'd be that big of a deal. He'd be leaving 2 extra shots to do his play. Where you play 13-10, 10-9, because it's 3-6, 4-5 that hits the guy. That hits the guy here. If you do the computer's play, it's only 6-4 that hits the guy here. And there's ones also, but they're the same either. They're the same either way. So 2 extra shots against this decent board. The computer doesn't want to leave it, even though after my opponent's play, this if he gets away with it, this is the best building structure. Like I'd rather have the 9 point slotted than the 10, and it bears on more of the inner board. Yeah, this play's okay. I probably would have found the 4 point making play here just because I'm up on the bar. But it's a little more dangerous than the opponent's play. Okay, he does go after me. I try to escape. The race isn't great for me, so I'm not doing all that good here. Especially because I'm leaving these shots in the outfield. No, okay, good. Yeah, good redouble by the opponent. Okay, so this is in fact a money pass. It looks like based on the percentages here. So it's double take at the score makes sense. I think where my take point is 18.5 here, because I can either pass and go to 6-3 Crawford, which in other words 1 away 4 away Crawford, which I have memorized as 18.5, or I can take and play for the match, because that means my take point is 18.5. In fact, what was the other score I was wondering about? Oh, right. I was thinking there's one zero game when after I take a four cube. I wanted just to double check. I think his take point's around 16, but I wanted to make sure I have that right. Yeah, 15.7. Yeah, 16%. Okay. I did have that right. Yeah, so the math is pretty simple here. Okay, so I'm holding a four cube. Similar to the other cube action I was just talking about. If I double him to 8, he can either pass and play from 0 to 5. He can play from 0 to 5, or he can take and play for the match, right? So that means his take point is the exact same percentage as his winning chances from 0 to 5, which is 2 away, 7 away, which I have memorized as 16%. So what you might want to do if you're new to this stuff, a good starting point is to memorize the 1 and the 2 away scores. Maybe up to like 1 away, 9 away, and 2 away, 9 away. So that's sort of those are sort of the most important numbers to know, because scores like this come up a lot, where you can either pass or you can take, maybe redouble, and then play for the match that way. And so that there's no math, there's just memorization there. There's no like math to do there. When it's like the match is on the line after the automatic after the cube is taken or whatever, and any automatic redoubles, like it is here. So that's sort of a good first if you want to start doing like match equity stuff. That's sort of the best. That's sort of the best thing you can do when you're starting out with that stuff. Like it's good to know, right? I mean, obviously I'm not doubling. As black, I'm not doubling this, but I could start escaping the guy, right? And like, you get into a race, and like I redouble you to 8. It's pretty important to know whether your take point is like 10% or 20% there. Like you're gonna make different actions if you think your take point's 20 or you think your take point's 10. So it's pretty important to know where it is along that 10 to 20% line. And you can do that just by memorizing the 1 away and 2 away match equities here. Yeah. Yeah, no, there's really not. That's like the hard parts. So like you're making a good point. I mean, okay, so you know your black doubles here, and you know your take point is you know your take point 16%. Say the hard part is really knowing what side of 16 you're on. But my point, and like you're not going to be able to distinguish between like 16 and 18 all the time. That's going to be like very hard to distinguish between 16 to 18. But you can distinguish between 10 and 20 sometimes. A lot of the times you'll be able to distinguish between 10 and 20. Especially if you think about, oh, what would my action be if it's like for money or a 0-0 in a long match. So if you can distinguish between 10 and 20, if you know your take point is between the two, you know to take a 20 and pass a 10. If you don't know your take point, you might not know you need to do that. So that's why I think it's pretty important to know your take point at least at these scores where the cube is going to be dead. Yeah, hell, hey, mop up. Right. Yeah, but you see my point though. Even if you can't distinguish between 16 and 18, it's still sort of important to know like where it is along that. Where it is between 10 and 20, say. And you're always kind of, to be honest, even like super strong players, we're always kind of guessing, whether it's 16 or 18. And it's just, the more you look at this stuff, the better your guesses are going to be. Or you can have like, if you get lucky and you have like a reference position in your head, you could be more exacting, I guess. Yeah. But anyways, so we were at the 1-4 game. Sorry, I don't remember exactly where we were. Oh yeah, I tried playing for the gammon, but it didn't work. Then we're at the 3-4 game. I get a score-based cube in here. You would not double this at 0-0. 3-3. I try to get everyone home. Oh, right. We were talking about this recube. Yes, recube is good. Apparently my 6-4 is wrong. Okay, so he rolls a 6-5, good 6-5. He does this play, and then I roll a 6-4. And apparently I get it wrong, which is a little surprising to me. I mean, I see I can play 13-6. I'm sorry, 12-6, 13-9, right? I see I can bring a guy directly into the 6 point, but I thought, what was I thinking? I was thinking I really need to get a guy to the 4 point. So maybe I want to be like a little more flexible. So that's why I play 13-7, 12-8. There's only one crossover. And I put a guy on my 7, which isn't a very efficient spot. Here we could go, yeah, he wants to play, maybe most people are getting this right, putting a guy directly on the 6 point. So in other words, I did this, but I guess the guys on the 7 and 8 points aren't that efficient. Computer wants to do this. I guess if you roll a 2, you can still play 6-4 if you want, putting a guy on the 4 point. Fine. Anyways, he gets a good double, and then I just lose the race. Yeah, 5% differences. Maybe that's a good thing to aim for. Like I said, it's pretty, especially in like a middle game position. I don't know. It's like really hard to. It's really hard to like get it within a few percent if you're trying to guess the win percentage. Like usually I don't think in those terms. Usually what I do in like middle game positions anyways, I think, okay, what would be the cube action for money or at 0-0 in a long match, and then try to adjust for the score with the gammons in mind. And so I have some good feel for like how much I should adjust for various scores. That's normally what I do, and I think that's probably what most strong players do. I'm sure players do maybe try to quantify things more than I do. But it's, yeah, like you say, it's hard to pinpoint it without a reference position. Sometimes easier in like a bear off, you know. But like if you have a bear off, you know it's like a close, and you think you think the bear off's like a close money take. You know you're like in the low 20s. So you can do stuff like that. Maybe you can get within 1 or 2% that way sometimes. But anyways, well, that was just fun. Yeah, thanks for chatting. I'm actually going to sign off now, but yeah, thanks for watching. Hope you get something out of this, and we will see you next time.